Celibacy, whether it's a lifetime of celibacy of a period of time, is necessary to completely individuate. There is so much trauma that is still being replicated as long as we are in a romantic interaction with a partner or a sexual contact with people. That is one part of it. The other part is this spiritual awakening is taking so much life force. So life force is sexual energy, and we need all of our life force so badly to transmute all of it, to burn everything up, especially in this time frame where there is an ongoing transmutation, where there is so much to be downloaded, there's so much to be integrated. It is a waste to spend your energy on sexual interaction. I'm not saying sexual sex is a waste. It's definitely not. But there are periods in everybody's spiritual path where we really need to draw all our power in, where we need to really let Shakti transform the inside. What it's also doing when we are living a life of celibacy, we are going through a profound rewiring. Because the moment we stop engaging in sex, we start seeing what where our energy has been draining, and a lot of the energy, whether you're male or female, goes to relationships or sex. This is just a fact. If you're really doing a lot of inner work and you start to do your shadow work, you start seeing that a lot of life force drains out of us through relationships and through sex. Why is that? Because we feel there is this emptiness inside that the other can fill up. The other can fill up this void. The moment we stop using others, because that's typically what you're doing, just like you're using alcohol or you're using weed or whatever. The moment you stop using other people, you are becoming aware of your addictions. Everybody has addictions on intimacy. And what it does is you are left with this raw sexual energy, and using this rawness to open and expand the heart chakra is what's ultimately waking up. And the Kundalini energy, sexual energy, is the energy that does the waking up in each and every one of us. So becoming so rigorously honest about what we project on another person is only, how do you say that? It can only be filtered and purified when we go through a period of celibacy. because only then we will start feeling withdrawal symptoms, just like you would be feeling when you stop drinking or you stop whatever it is that is still filling up the void inside of you. So a complete detachment in every corner of life is necessary to become individuated. It's not to say that maybe in a later stage you can re-engage. Again, that's a choice for everyone to make. But in my experience, what celibacy has catalyzed and transmuted in my life, it's so profound. It made me so conscious about what inner child traumas I was still projecting on having a relationship or having sex with someone. It honestly was such a drainer. A lot of my life force for a long time went to a relationship, went to not be staying completely authentic with myself because there was something to get out of the relationship, because there was some emptiness still inside of me. Now I have been celibate for a while, and there's such a peacefulness that comes with it. Not in the beginning, because there was especially when I started, my Kundalini awakening started when I got those pushes where all of my chakras completely broke open. So much shadow came up, and also the shadow of what what really is sexual attraction, what happens. And most of the time sexual attraction is an emotion. What makes what makes lust, what is that? That is not often not a very natural state of consciousness. Lust is often an emotion, a deep pain that we want to avoid, a deep emptiness, just wanting to avoid the here and now. And the moment we are still interacting in a relationship constantly with each other, we will keep on feeding each other, staying in that loop of dependency, and individuation will not happen. I don't think, because I hear a lot on the internet that it's supposed to be more hard for men than it is for women. I think it's for men and women both a very difficult theme to detach from. The whole society is built on sexuality. If you really go deep into the psychology of people, why people do what they do, we can trace everything back to relationships slash sexuality. Gurdjieff has written quite some things about it, and I can so resonate with his insights. Everything in this world is built on sex, and the moment we start detaching from it, we become a completely different person, and a big backlog of energy starts opening up to us that before was never available, because it kept draining away, whether it was consciously being in a relationship, whether it's in a sexual way, but also the thoughts, the psychology behind partnerships and sexuality is it's tremendous. It's just the same as with your mobile phone, the apps that you haven't closed. I've talked about it more often the past years. When we don't close those apps, they are on the background, and they keep on asking energy, so they keep on draining your battery. And if you really really want to break free from any form of identification, you're gonna need all your life force to do so. I know a lot of you who recognize how much energy it costs to awaken, and celibacy is, in my opinion, a very important one to gain more energy to put into your own transformation, own transformative and spiritual process. It also gives you the space to really come home into your own beingness, not being in constant interaction with your partner. Gives you the time to get back to your naturality. When we are living together with someone, there's always a part that of us that cannot always be authentic, because we have to live with another person. So sometimes we need to do stuff that is maybe not natural at the moment. And if we would live alone, we would make different choices. So there is always a part that is inauthentic when we start living with a partner. Now, that is not a problem when you have already experienced lots of years in solitude with yourself, where you have gained a presence that has become so strong that the deviation from your core is becoming minimal. And that is a beautiful way of interacting with another person. I also feel very strongly there is no relationship or sacred sexuality possible if you're not with someone who's also walking the path of truth, who's also transmuting his or her own shadows. It's inevitable. We cannot be in a relationship with someone who doesn't walk the same path. So this is the law of attraction. The moment we purify ourselves of all shadows, we start attracting different sorts of people, because we become a different sort of person. And we need to give ourselves the time to purify ourselves. And purification is very much needed on a sexual level. The oldest wounds are active in sexuality. I think I don't have to elaborate on all the theories Freud has written about how we choose our mother or our father, or maybe both, in different partners, to just work out all different sorts of traumas and identifications. Well, it's not necessarily necessary to work it out in relationships, although I must say those have been very big catalysts in my life. And I think relationships are very beautiful experiences if you are awake if you are conscious, if you're willing to, um, you say that, observe the lila, we can grow immensely spiritually. But at one point, there comes a time where you feel you have gained so much out of interaction with people, and you feel now is the time to detach from it all. Um, this can be. I had very very difficult times in times of celibacy, in terms of such deep shadows from attachment problems with my parents showing up, and how that enmeshed in the relationships that I had in the past. And in retrospect, I can now see I couldn't have digested those themes if I would be still sexually active or in a relationship. Um, it's a choice to. I'm not sure, or I'm not clear about whether celibacy for me is for life or it's just a period of time. But I am very clear about the power that lies in it. This team needs also complete detachment. And there are some people who I hear talk on the internet saying that you can wake up in a relationship. I'm not saying you cannot, but complete detachment doesn't happen when we're still in connectedness with other people. Only when we really choose to detach, we can come home to our very core. And I know this strokes a lot of people against their hair, and that's okay. I'm just sharing my experience and how I feel, what is needed to completely burn away every form of identification. And not everybody is here to go all the way if it comes to awakening. Everybody has their own path. But I think it was very vital to touch this subject, since it is a very important theme. And especially the last couple of months have been very much about sexuality. We're still in Scorpio season. Neptune and Saturn were both in Aries. They are now back in Pisces, but they will return in February in Aries. And I also made a short about it. I really feel that there are going to arise from the shadows for so many people, so much shadow work, if it comes to our divine masculine, if it comes to sexuality, if it comes to a life force, if it comes to how do we interact with what do we do with our life force, how do we connect with it to the outside world. And it's going to be a very interesting to watch, because I feel that there is in this split, there are two main groups. The first group is the group that has already been transmuting for quite a long time, who has gone through a lot of suffering and friction and crystallization around these topics. And then there is the unconscious group that is still playing out their emptiness and their identification on other people. So they're still using other people. And for this group of people, the coming time frame when Neptune and Saturn are going to go back into Aries is it's going to be a very interesting thing to start watching. It's I'm not going to say much about it right now because that is not the video I wanted to make, maybe another time. I'm curious about how you experience, or if you have experienced celibacy in your life, and what it is bringing you in your paths towards awakening. Much love.